Now continuing on to section B for our inspection, we have our mirror. Our mirror is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. It does have a small crack right here. And our rivets are not missing. Our mirrors are clean. There's no illegal stickers, no scratches. Then we go to our door. Our door opens and closes freely. And we have a good rubber seal all the way around, not ripped or torn. We have our door hinges. They're properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. Not missing nuts or bolts. We have our turn signal left, right, and four-way flasher, amber in color, working properly at all times. It is not cracked, not missing any screws. Now we have our steps. Our steps are properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, not missing screws or nuts. There's no slippery substances or debris. We have our battery box. Our battery box is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. Our connections are tight and secure. The cell caps are present. There is no excessive signs of corrosion. Our battery box opens and closes freely, not been broken or cracked. Next, we have our def tank. Our def tank is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, not leaking at a proper level, and our cap is tight and secure. This is where I add def. I need to add def. Diesel exhaust fluid. Now we go to our fuel tank. Our fuel tank is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, not leaking at a proper level, and it has a saddle strap and a rubber seal, and that is to prevent metal-on-metal contact. Our fuel cap is tight and secure, and it has a rubber seal in good conditions, not ripped or torn, and it has a chain and T-bar. And we just check underneath the truck, make sure it's not leaking. We have our catwalk. Our catwalk is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, no slippery substances or debris. We have our frame. Our frame is properly mounted, not cracked, no illegal welds, no unmanufactured holes. We have our exhaust system. Our exhaust system is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. There is no signs of soot, only at the tip. We have our drive shaft. Our drive shaft is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, and it has proper lubrication on both universal joints. Then inside here we have our torque bar. Our torque bar is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. Then we go to our brake system. We have our dual brake chambers with 2 clamps, and they're properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. They're not leaking. We have our brake hoses. The hoses have no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. No rips or torns, not leaking, properly secured with clamps on both ends. We have our slack adjuster. Our slack adjuster is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. We have our push rod. Our push rod is connected to our slack adjuster with a cotter pin and cotter key. There is no more than 2 inches of free play when brakes are released. Then we go into our brake drum. Our brake drum has no illegal welds, not been broken or cracked. Our brake shoe has no less than 1/4 inch of thread. Our brake lining has no white powder, no grease, no debris, no oils. Now we go right here to our suspension system, starting with our spring mount. Our spring mount is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, not missing nuts or bolts. We have our leaf spring, which is not shifted, properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, no illegal welds, secured with 2 U-bolts and spacer to our axle. Our U-bolts are not been broken or cracked, not missing nuts. Then we have our shock absorber. Our shock absorber is properly mounted, not been broken or cracked, not leaking hydraulic fluid. Now we go to our tractor dual tires. They're properly inflated to 100 psi at manufacturer specification. There's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. No nails, no screws. They're evenly worn. Minimum tire depth is 232s. These tires can be recapped, and I will check the tire pressure with a tire gauge. And we have our valve stem present, not been broken or cracked, not leaking. Now we go to our tractor dual rims. Our rear tractor dual rims are butted together, touching. There's no space between them, but there is a 4-inch gap here. That's for debris. Our rims are properly mounted, not been broken or cracked. No illegal welds. All of our lug nuts are present. They're none missing, and they're all tight and secured because I see no shiny thread or rust thread, which will indicate my lug nuts would be loose. We have our axle seal properly mounted and been broken or cracked at a proper level and not leaking. We have our airbag mount properly mounted to the frame, not been broken or cracked, missing nuts. We have our airbag, it's not ripped or torn, and it's not leaking, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. We have our splash guards, they're not missing, they're not ripped, they're not torn, properly mounted. And last, we have our tractor lights. They are properly mounted, red in color, working properly at all times, indicate my left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flasher, and our brake lights. And the middle light in the front, in the back that we see, it's our reverse light. It's a white in color, working properly at all times, not missing. And that is all for our section B for TDA.